If you've never had the pleasure of experiencing a Yorgos Lanthimos movie, now's the time to jump on board. The Killing of a Sacred Deer is his latest film, which is a horror, thriller, mystery, black comedy hybrid, and it feels like a cinematic aberration. It's the type of movie that so rarely comes around that we are forced to take notice. And even if it isn't for you, it's a movie that's worth watching anyway. It's hard to shake it from your mind. The film follows Colin Farrell as Stephen, a surgeon who is married to Nicole Kidman's Anna, and together they have 2 children, a girl and a boy. Stephen is good at his job, but lost a patient a couple of years back and, with a guilty conscience, secretly meets with the patient's son, Martin, played by Barry Keoghan. But Martin becomes annoying after a while, and Stephen decides to pull back on their interactions. Then his family starts getting sick, which ultimately reveals itself to be less of a coincidence than he suspects. What The Killing of a Sacred Deer's story boils down to is a moral choice that nobody should have to make. The film isn't about the choice, primarily, though. It's what leads up to it, the interactions between the characters, the dark comedy, and the twisted scenes and logic used in many of its scenes. The film starts simply enough and then gets more depraved as it plays out. Early on, you might even feel a little bored. Off-kilter, sure, because Lanthimos has that effect on his audience, but not terribly engaged. You'll get there. One of the main things you'll almost immediately take note of is the dialogue, because Lanthimos does not write characters who talk like normal people. They're too open and explanatory, as if they're unable to leave implications as just that. It's fascinating, but a little off-putting. The effect is unnerving, it's insightful, even when the characters are talking about nothing in particular, like watches or apple pie. It's delivered disaffectionately and monotone, too, which just adds to this effect. The other thing you'll notice right off the bat is the cinematography, which is just different enough from the norm to make you pay attention to it. It uses camera angles you don't normally see. Some are beautiful, some are strange, but it's never dull. The soundtrack, too, often draws attention to itself, which is a technique I often dislike, but here is effective at giving the film a heightened sense of weirdness. Soundtracks are typically at their best when they work on your subconscious to highlight a particular effect of a scene. While here, much like these other elements, it simply unnerves. That's what Lanthimos is most effective at doing. He slightly alters our expectations when it comes to various technical aspects of the film, which puts us off right away. Then he throws in a weird story and some pitch-black comedy, and we revel in what he's done. It worked great in Dogtooth and the first half of The Lobster, and here it makes The Killing of a Sacred Deer must-see material, even if, like I said earlier, you don't think you're going to like it. The most valuable cinema, after all, are the films that offer you something different. Great movies are worthwhile, of course, but if they're not unique, they get lost in the shuffle. A movie like The Killing of a Sacred Deer won't. It might not be something you like or want to revisit, but it's memorable. It breaks away from the established rules, it plays with its technical aspects, it unsettles its audience, and it still delivers a worthwhile story that's both entertaining and thought-provoking. There are many movies out there that feel like the same old thing. The Killing of a Sacred Deer, throughout its entire production, does not feel this way. It plays with its technical craft in order to unease its audience, and then throws us into a thrilling, mysterious, and very odd story that's twisted and darkly comedic. It's the type of movie that you watch, exit the theater, and then ruminate on the experience for the days and weeks afterward, even if you didn't enjoy it. This type of film doesn't come along every day. Watch it. I give The Killing of a Sacred Deer 4 stars out of 5. Thanks for watching.